Hi folks, and welcome back to Take Me to Your Paradise. We're joined here in the Morven, my two good men with me, Mr. Ryan Clifford, Mr. Alan Stirling. I got your name right today, big man.
You did indeed, aye.
How are we?
Fantastic, aye. And here before the big game tonight, so looking forward to hearing that kind of Champions League music as well. So yeah, very exciting, and hopefully it'll be a happy night with a productive result. Hope you're all well.
Aye, it's good to be back with you boys.
Nice holiday,
aye, thanks very much. Thanks very much. I was wondering how long it was going to take you. I was wondering how long. How you, me man? First time you've been in here, guys.
It's good.
Obviously, me and Alan were in last week. And
it's good to get back filming as well. Good to, obviously, Alan says, big game. When you get to the Champions League noise, that's where you know it's that's where the big boys play, shall we say. Obviously, the team across the water, not experienced that in a wee while, so it's good to hear that music. And obviously watching the manager's presser yesterday, this morning, that's before we're filming today, you mentioned about the excitement about the stadium, and these are special nights. Obviously it's not an opposition that we've really played before much. You wouldn't class them as a massive team, but it's still a big occasion for the club, and looking forward to it. I think as a fan base we're going into a bit of excitement, maybe a positive result, obviously with the recruitment we've done at the start of the season, so it's positive, mate, and you're looking quite tanned. You're catching up with me and Big Alan here, so you're looking good.
You still fading, I don't know about you, it might just be the fact you're sitting next to a tan guy. No, to be fair, it was warm. It was a great weekend. Santa Ponza was buzzing. I watched the game up in the CELTIC'S on Saturday, the Hearts game. The place was buzzing, square was packed, and it was good to watch Celtic in the sun as well. It's not something you get today all the time.
I'm guessing you're on the water, but on the
I was on the what is it they call it, the singing water?
Singing water.
I was on that. But no, I've missed these. I've missed these. Obviously, you boys were left to do the couple of lives while I was away, and actually I think that's the first phone in I've missed as well, the dialing. So no, I've missed these. It's good to be back. Straight off a flight, straight back to these. That's how I'm committed to these.
No rest, mate.
I like that top. It's a good top.
Cheers, mate.
Nice.
I think that sun's made them really, really happy.
Nice to see you've turned up with the Dortmund tap, but you've missed the night. It's Slovan Bratislava.
Just to let you know, folks, we've got a guest. We've got Stefan Henshaw with us today.
Big Stefan joined us all the way from Switzerland. He's too early, but we told him that the young boys are Bern games not for a wee while yet, but he's...
Stefan, it's a game you've
He's turned up, I know. But... no, like you say, Ryan, big game. Alan, obviously, big games are what Celtic thrive on. And listening to the manager last night, I thought it was brilliant, Alan, as well, when you hear the manager about saying it's the best prepared we've been for a while. I can't agree more with him, to be fair with you, in terms of squad-wise. I think everybody's getting comfortable to one another. You've seen Engels coming in, he looks as if he's settled to the group really well. Couple of wee pals in the group, but it looks like AJ, I think he's kind of one of his best buddies. He's right there up and talking to him. Callum McGregor's obviously, looks as if he's good friends with him as well. I've seen the two of them on Saturday together, but again, mate, can only bode well for us moving into this competition, because like Brendan says, we are going to need a big squad and we're going to need to use it.
Aye, definitely, and I think watching Brendan's interview, he is very confident. I think he has to be going into this first game. It's huge that we pick up 3 points. I've been saying that for a number of times because of the opposition that we face in the following game. So I think we will have enough to get the 3 points against Slovan Bratislava for the kind of homework and the research I've done for them. If we play our best ability, I could say a relatively kind of easy might be the wrong word. It's always kind of best to respect your opposition, but I think it's well within our capabilities to win comfortably tonight, especially being at home. We need to make sure that it's a kind of fortress tonight as well. Make sure that we strike the fear of God into the opposition, and I think I'm as confident as Brendan is. And if it does go wrong, let's hope that it doesn't, but there's no hiding place now. Brendan's had everything that he wants now. He's come out and says that it's the most settled he's seen a Celtic team play. And there was an interesting start that I says to you guys last night, is that we have not scored a goal in the opening day of Champions League schedule from 2006 when we scored. It was Belagura Hesselhout, Nakamura, Old Trafford. So that's 18 years that we've not scored in the opening day of a Champions League schedule. So
this is why he's a start guy. This is why he's
that's why we've got this today.
So that's Mourinho's book you've borrowed there, isn't it?
So we need to change that statistic tonight. Hopefully we can score kind of 3 or 4. I'm hoping, but at the end of the day, I'd take 1-0 victory right now and get 3 points and move on. But yeah, quietly confident.
Yeah, obviously Ryan, getting back to about Brendan was saying in his presser when the fella asked him about his approach, now when the boy says to him, I asked you last year about your Atletico Madrid approach and you thought Celtic would have more of the ball, and then he says to him about tonight, do you expect to have more of the ball? And he said, well, you need to just tune in and find out for yourself. But he always likes to kind of give you a wee bit and then he kind of takes it away with another comment. But I don't know if it's just me, mate. I just think the manager's really relaxed. I think he knows what he's got at his own disposal and he knows what kind of weapons we can use. You look at guys like Hatate, Bernardo, Engels. Obviously, as we go, we'll touch on these guys, but even look McCown, he offers that wee bit of quality and panache you need in the midfield sometimes, and a wee bit of dig. Again, the boy doesn't look out of place when he comes in, so I think we're in a really, really good place, don't you, mate?
I probably agree with the manager. It's probably the most equipped we've been in a while. I know when he first came in we had guys like Sinclair and Dembele and stuff, but we still had the quality of Cole, Toure, but he was coming in his career. Now we've got Scales who's younger. Again, if you're his biggest fan or no, he's been quite okay this season. Yeah. He's done really well. Same with Greg Taylor. I was a wee bit apprehensive about coming into the Champions League with the two in the team. I'm not going to lie, I was a bit disappointed still. That obviously I did mention to John was on the phone and did mention that I did say that ideally I would want a bit better quality, but we've obviously bought as I keep saying it, Alex, we'll call him Alex.
His name's Alex
Valle. We'll just call him Xander. Alex, obviously the left back for Barcelona, and we bought in Trusty. They will play in this tournament. They will play a lot of games because of the schedule we've got. Yes. But you'd imagine that eventually they potentially could come in. But Scales and Taylor have done well, so they will be playing. You can't, as much as we all want better quality or we want better players, the guys who have got the jersey, if they continue to play well and not make many mistakes, as much as we might not like them as players or might not have the biggest love for them, obviously they can be dropped by the manager, but realistically, the way they're playing, you can't not play them. So we're going into this game tonight, like you say, flying, solid in the league, no conceded a goal, scored a lot of goals. Probably is the best place we've been in terms of being ready for, if you want to call it, European ready. We've got a very, very strong bench to come on. It's interesting that you obviously mentioned when they first came in, it was about seeing how the team was, seeing how it would adapt to the Champions League. And you've seen guys maybe not playing since, obviously last season. Guys like Yang have not really played, Home not really played. So maybe that's some of the guys always left as well, Lagerberg away. So that's maybe him saying that now he's got the players that he feels are ready to come in and make an impact. And I'm not going to be as too confident as Alan maybe sounds there, because people might think I'm being negative here, but we're still Celtic in Europe. We've not been great recently. Even games we should be winning or should be very competitive in, we've not got the results. So I want us to be ruthless this time, take the chances, and it seems to be that the manager's very set on that we're going to go and win this game. He's set on getting 3 points. We've spoken about it before you went away as well, that this is crucial to get the first 3 points, because we've got 2 hard games against Atlanta. We're going to lie, I don't find he's really getting much against they two. We'll need to put in 2 unbelievable performances, and they two will need to...
It's not beyond us.
It's not beyond us, but it's going to be hard because we know how good, how no good we are, I'll be for home. But that's got to change somehow. Cycles happen, it's got to change.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But I think we'll beat Feyenoord, obviously the last game we played in Europe, that's going to come into this. Hopefully we're in the same kind of mood, and I think if we're going to have any aspirations, JP, to do anything in this format, obviously Zagreb get beat 9-2.
I seen that last night when I get it.
We might not finish as bad as we think, because that could have been us, the Bayern. So we've got a decent group here, league table, so I think we need to start. I'm with Alan. If it's 1-0,
big man wouldn't be here now if that was us, man. He'd have been chucking things off first convinced.
if it's 1-0, 3-0, 3-1, whatever the result is, as long as we walk out this with 3 points, then I think we'll all be happy as a fan base.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I asked him first there about all that, Alan, because I knew he was going to take the majority of the episode there to get his tilt. What he was thinking, and I could feel his rosary beads.
Forward on there, guys.
Aye, you can press pause now because Big Alan's about to tell you.
Just wait to take it through my notebooks, my homework.
You up at 4 o'clock in the morning, do
But are we up in the early hours of the morning?
I had my glasses on everything from my laptop. Aye.
Wow, man. So you brought a pen instead of me having to borrow you one all the time, man.
Thinking about William Shaw.
In fact, I actually think that's a pen I gave you 2 years ago and you've still never gave me it back.
I'll speak to you two later.
Is that the man Liam Shaw falls on the Paradise Windfall numbers with?
Right on the back of Mike Jarowski. He's in it. Go right on me, come on.
Yang's outside signing FIFA cards. But
sports socks, get your
sports socks. Aye. Learning the lingo as he goes. He's too careful, Lager be Elker. Big Lager's left on my list of duties. Bigger than that seat there, by the way, I'll tell you. He's not carried out one of them yet, I've not seen him. But he's still asking how they soaks inside out, isn't he?
Aye.
But no, just touching on what I'm saying there, Alan, obviously the team are in a very good place, and I agree with that in health-wise and looking at the bigger picture. I think you touched on it on Monday night on the dial-in. I think it might have been John. I don't see I really can't see who's beating us domestically, and I really don't. See if you look at the bench, and I think Brendan touched on it in the presser as well, this is why we need a strong bench. Because he knows himself, he's going to have to rotate the squad. He knows himself, he's going to have to use players maybe more than once, but to then freshen up the team again for the weekend, because we might have just said the Dortmund game. I know it's probably not happening, so don't chip in with your comments and give me abuse on the chat, but just give this for instance, we might then have Atalanta on the Wednesday and then we're right back into an Aberdeen game on the Saturday. So he's going to have to really find a formula that works to and fro, and I think that's what we're going to see, Alan. I think the squad's going to be getting used and stretched slightly as we go.
Yeah, we are very confident, just to touch upon what you say, we are confident, but we can't get overconfident or cocky, because that would lead to complacency, and when we get complacent, that's when results can happen, like we've seen over the last few years where we're dropping points, whether that be, hopefully not tonight, we need maximum points, but along the line, so we need to keep full kind of concentration and make sure that we're keeping full respect towards any opposition that we're coming up against. But our squad depth does look impressive at the minute on paper. We've still yet to see a couple of these squad members kind of take to the park when you're looking at the Xander for Barcelona. Xander for Barcelona, and
watching him walking into Lennox down, he looks as if he does skateboarding on the side. I know his dress sense.
So Trustees.
I thought we'd seen Tony Hawk.
By the way, I think some of them need fashion lessons. By the way, where's some of them?
Have you seen some of the photos that can have it now?
Thousands of pounds a week of walking in with gear even in by yourself.
I think Lewis Palmer's shopping in Bernardo's into him, man. He's in the charity shops picking up anything.
He's Tony Hawk's, man. He's Tony Hawk's.
He must be like Tam Mullen with his money. He'll be in there picking up any can.
He's walking and listening to Avril Lavigne and Scary Boy.
Aye, probably hoodies.
I think the less said about that the better. When we played football or somebody rocked up in that kind of gear, I think there'd be a few words said.
I think they'll give you in the showers at half time. It's your birthday day, pal, in the showers, in you go.
So, but we have, back to the point, we have got it looks like a very kind of deep squad that we've got. Hopefully at the weekend against Falkirk, we're going to see a few of these players that maybe haven't got into the first team yet, and see what they're capable of. But as it sits now on paper, we've got a left back that's from Barcelona. We've got a centre half that we've paid 6 million for that haven't got any game time. We're either going to have kind of Bernardo or Hatate on the bench, and then you're looking at kind of Forrest, Palmer, don't even know if Yang will get in there, but you've got a lot of options that we can rotate with. So going forward with that kind of depth in the squad, it does breed confidence. It does lead you to believe that it's going to be a very successful season, and hopefully we can follow that up and kind of make sure that these guys are performing week in, week out, and when we do rotate the squad, the players that do come in are kind of worthy replacements and they step up to the mark, and just kind of keep the ball rolling, keep the dogs barking and keep the caravans rolling. That's us.
That's it. And the Volvic bottles on the table, and we'll get the tactics board and we'll do that in a bit.
And we'll get 4 shots on target as well.
That's it. You could be like Paul again and tell your players not to tackle one another in training.
You could just leave out the Champions League music and put on the Harry Potter theme.
To be fair, Paul Gwen just used to watch the good bits in Scotsport.
Could be worse, like you could be turning up to the players and turning up to training with loaf packets in your head, boys, you know what I mean? So you could go a different road altogether. But you could be in the bushes shouting at people and pointing fingers at people and standing in the actual jaggies arguing with people, but that's a different story again. But see, touching on what Alan's saying there about the players we've not seen, Ryan, I wanted to say, because I thought John, I was laughing the other night when John came on and he said we're approaching a Champions League game, and as it stands now, Greg Taylor and Liam Scales, and I know you were quite vocal last season about when we get to the Champions League, they too can't play. Is it a case of, we've brought in some new recruits, but I mean, Stevie Wonder could tell you, these lads have also lifted a level. So we could actually be seeing now the best thing that's ever happened to Liam Scales and Greg Taylor as footballers, because both of them are playing at a level, especially defensively. Look at all the clean sheets we're having. Defensively, I watched Greg Taylor at the weekend. Shankland controlled the ball, he'd got through. Greg Taylor ran in, took the ball off him and ran away and just left him. And he fell, Shankland fell on his backside. And I was like, that's a different level altogether of fitness, everything it takes to be able to do that and leave your man standing. So is it a case of, these guys have now raised their level, knowing, as Alan says, there's a competitive squad sitting there going, if I don't get my act together and don't do what I need to do here, I'm at the door, or I could be sitting on that bench for quite a foreseeable time. But I liked also what Brendan says, Ryan. It's no about, I've got to start 11 for every game, because that's no the case. People think they're not playing because they're not good enough, or But I like the way Brendan explained it. No, it's horses for courses.
I think the way Brendan does it is, you've all been in football yourself, squads yourself. 9 times out of 10 when you're training or you turn up on a Saturday, obviously I don't know how some teams name the team the Saturday before the game, some day in the morning, some day during the week. So 9 times out of 10 you roughly know if you're going to be playing, right, or you're on the bench, right. And I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to create a harmony in the squad where they just feel that they're all going to get game time, they're on together. He's wanting the guys who are maybe not playing feel that they're part of it, right. But 9 times out of 10 McGregor's always going to be playing unless he's injured or it's a cup game, they might give him a rest. Vickers will always play unless he's injured probably. The goalkeeper will always play. Alistair Johnson-Paul will always play. Taylor will probably play unless the guy for Barcelona comes in there a few games and he's tenfold, he's far better than them. There's Kyogo, but it looks at probably going to play Admira until Admira gets fully fit and he's with him. So I know what the manager's saying, but there is guys in this team that are predominantly always going to play, and I think you need to keep roughly, especially I'm massive on the core. You need to keep the core, because if you keep changing your core, that's when I think the team kind of dismantles a wee bit. So
am I far off the mark and say that Liam Scales and Greg Taylor are also part of that core team?
I would say so, aye.
Going forward?
I'm kinda, I know what the manager says about you're always tested with Celtic every day, you're under pressure, right? But in Scotland there's obviously still pressure on you, right? But they've done it weekly, they've done it daily, they've done it yearly. They know how to really go in Scotland. I'm big on, this is where we'll get tested now. This is, I don't want to say it's probably, it's not the easiest, because like Alan says, no game in Europe's easy, right? But it's the biggest chance we've got to really impress as a club, try and take us forward, try and qualify for the playoffs, or at least qualify for the full thing, whatever we can do. I think this is where we'll get judged. This is where Scales, Taylor, Bernardo again come in, Adamira came in, Trusty for plays. This is when I think they'll get judged fully, because the last campaign, I know Skills get man of match one game, but some of the mistakes, the small mistakes you do make, if you make a game in Europe, you'll get punished, and that's where I think this is where they'll get tested now. And I think they've done well so far. They'll be confident. So listen, I've no qualms about them playing, but this is where they'll get tested now, and I think this is where the manager. I know he says he's been tested in Europe, he's won big games, but I think in himself he knows. But he's been backed with the board. They've given him £30 million. Some of these teams that we're going to be playing have not spent that. So if we don't get some results, he will get backlash. He will get it after us, because you're spent this, you're spent that. You're saying you've relaxed, you've been most ready. So the manager will have a bit of pressure. I know being with Celtic there's pressure, but I think this is probably the biggest test for the manager as well, to go right. This is because we all know this is why we brought in to improve us in this format, and I'm confident we will do well. I'm not saying we're going to qualify, I'm going to say how many results we're going to get, but I think we'll do probably the best we've done in a while. Don't know what you feel on that.
It's shown, the statistics and the ratings have shown that we got the easiest draw out of all 36 teams. So it's shown that. It's also see the statistic computer, the prediction computer that's come out and says that we have a 56.7% chance of getting to at least the playoff or qualifying. Now it's 49% to get into the playoff, and like 7 or 8% to get into the top 8. So we have been given basically the golden draw. We've been given a very, very favourable draw, and I hope we're in the best place we are, as Brendan says, to try and take advantage of this, because this is a time that when people are thinking that maybe 9 points might be enough to get you into that playoff zone, I think we're more than capable of gaining 9 points for this group. I think we're more than capable of gaining quite a bit more than that.
It would be a massive free tonight, wouldn't it, to start us off with, to set us on that kind of road. Would it also give us confidence if we were to do that tonight and do it comprehensively?
It takes away, I think we might have spoken about this as well, it takes away a wee bit of the pressure. Because it's no out with our grasp to pick up points in the next match day 2, 3 and 4. But it's got to be very difficult, especially in match day 2 and 3 away to Dortmund and Atalanta. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to turn over these type of squads at our home patch. But has it happened before? It has happened before. We have beaten teams at that kind of standard, that kind of level. Has there been shocks in Champions League before? There has. I think you look at Sheriff beating Real Madrid. So these kind of results can happen, but if we get 3 points tonight, then that takes a wee bit of the weight off us, that knowing we've already put points on the board and we can get into these games. Obviously we're trying to get the win or a draw, but knowing that if we don't pick anything up, it's not a complete disaster, if you know what I mean. We've still got the points on the board, and it still puts us in a decent place going into the following games that we've got remaining.
Obviously we're going to touch on the opposition that we're playing tonight, but quickly just to add to what you're saying, I found it amazing with Brendan obviously mentioning the fact that, you know, I spoke to you lads about it off recording and all that. I found that for me, the Man City Chelsea games, I saw something different, and I asked you then, I says, is this something he's doing now? Even the DC United,
that's a flag away.
That'll be.
That's a flag away.
That's the advertising done for now then. Thank you, folks.
The formula that he was setting up, where you could see the team setting up differently in pre-season. I said to you lads then, I think this is something that he's working on to take us into. You saw how quickly we were playing as well. When we had the ball, when we didn't have the ball, how we're going to press these teams, the teams that are higher, like Man City, and teams that are at a certain level. So I think those preparation games there are only going to help us. But we've continued that momentum into the season, and we've treated every game like we're playing Man City every week. The way we're attacking teams, you look at the derby, they didn't have an answer. They don't have a clue. And it was a tactic also for Celtic to allow them to have the ball between the goalkeeper and the two centre-backs. And when the ball went out to the full-back, somebody jumped. left him to have it in the middle. As soon as the ball went to full-back, one of your players jumped. But it was a mixed jump because you seen Hatati going higher for the 10. You seen then Kyogo pressing and going for the side. And you seen Maeda pressing into the other quarter when Tavernier had the ball. So again, we do it in different ways when we've got the ball, when we've not got the ball. But listen, I think there's been ongoing preparation for this particular moment tonight. I really do. And see when Brendan speaks the way he did in his presser, I don't know what it is, lads, but it just gives me even more confidence. It's as if he knows what's ready to unfold. And the players, he talks about the players, the mindset of the players as well, to say, not only am I preparing the team to be able to play at the level, but to know that they can go and win. They can go and compete, they can go and do things. So that, I think that's a big difference before, because a lot of our fans have always said before, other players maybe mentally not there in terms of they don't fully believe they can win. But I think vital for us was the win against Feyenoord last season, because the nucleus of that squad's still together. So they all know that they can go and do, with a good performance, they can go and do, especially with a home crowd behind you. So I think that's very important, lads, I really do. I think the whole preparation in pre-season, obviously Kasper Schmeichel's going to add a massive weapon to that as well, in the way we play and how we play out, because he can ping. I mean, that one he threw, and he threw it round the corner. It was like he rolled a bowling ball, and it just went round the corner right into my head as part of it. Took the Hearts player right out of the game. So the technique the goalkeeper has, I think, is going to be massive, and this is where you'll see the fruits of that as we move into Champions League. But now we're going to touch on, obviously, Slovan Bratislava. Now, I'll bring you in on this one, Ryan. I know personally, with just doing my research, that they normally set up on a 4-2-3-1 basis. Listen, they had to play 8 games to get to where they are. So we know obviously they must have something about them. There's a former, the old Rangers, one of their employees are with them. And the boy Vladimir Weiss, I know he's Allman's our manager. We've got a couple of other players, but I'll let you come in and obviously give your thoughts on
people
what you
think.
think.
Ryan's got his wee notepad. Again, it's just wee things that I've kind of done. We've all done a wee bit of research. We all roughly know kind of the way they're going to be playing, but obviously they are the most successful club in Slovakia. They're somewhat else in terms of attacking. But what I've looked at wee bits of the highlights, looked at their data, and obviously done some more research. They seem to be very patient in their build-up play. Well, I know they do that tonight. Who knows? Because obviously it is kind of 8 cup finals, so they might just go gung ho. Do you know what? Nothing to lose. We're playing against a bigger club than us. Let's just go for it. We don't know how they're going to set up. Obviously, Brendan says that he sent Peter Houston. All these guys have all seen, and he did say, look, it's not rocket science. It's 4-2-3-1. You don't need to make it a big hoo-ha because of the competition. You just go and play the way against it as you would. He mentioned that sometimes he likes to play with a 9 or 10 press. If it's Bernardo, Hatati, Bernardo done the presser. I like to think that my inkling is whoever does the presser, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be playing a lot of minutes or they're going to be starting. So Bernardo could play, and I think if he does play, he'll be vital to the press. I think he'll be pressing to let Engels go, and Ben McGregor might be the one that sits. If Hatati plays, he'll be the one that goes with the press. So again, I go with average of 1.9 goal average, so the XG's 1.52. So they score some goals, but they're also conceding. It's 1.07. So all the stat gurus, you all know that means they do concede goals. Defensively, they're maybe somewhat as Europe defensively. They're only the best defensively, but they're very, very good going forward. They're very quick. The guy number 11, Tigran, you know his second name, the winger, he's a threat to them, and the man up front, Sterlak, they're probably our 2 main threats. Vladimir Weiss used to be quick. I don't know what he's like now. I've not seen much of him now. He'll obviously come to Celtic Park with a threat. He'll probably have a bee in his bonnet. Used to play against Celtic. Let's just try and show who I'm still a good player or whatever else. He might have that in his bonnet.
They do have a physical threat in the big boy Kutcher.
I don't know. I don't think he played the last game, but he might be safe for this. I don't know how they are injury wise, but the thing that I want to put towards obviously the fans as well, they might not be the biggest team night, but some of these players, I don't know, I think Robert Mack, I don't know if he's injured, but he might be on the bench, but some of these players are played in Euros they're playing in World Cups, they've played with Slovakia,
Yeah.
they've played in big competitions, so they're not going to come to Celtic Park and freeze. They're not going to be just, oh, I've not played in this competition before. So some of these guys are experienced, they're no young guys, like some of our players, Bernardo, either some of these guys are young, they've got experienced players, so they will know how to navigate this type of like you mentioned there, they played 8 games, I think it was 19 goals they've scored as well, so they score most of their games in the league at the second half of the game, so that might prove that they're maybe fit, they can keep going to the end of the whistle, but again, the standard of the league, I don't know how big it is. I know MSK's arena, it's the only really team I really know, so on average I think 443.2 passes, so 85%. 0.1% passes, so they like to pass the ball.
He's putting you to shame here, man, or his percentages, everything else, big man.
They like to pass
big man's grass has been cut here.
They like to pass the ball, but so that shows you that they like to play for the back, build up, but I think the key is for us is the way we are playing, we've got better quality on the ball. I think if we do, like you mentioned, if we do what we've done before, 60,000, big night, get the press early on, try and get an early goal, and you've seen it in this inside huddle, McGregor. I think maybe myself, I'm going to be less critical now by watching that, because you see
I think a lot of people will.
You seen McGregor.
Sounds as if he's for
Aye. You seen McGregor gone. You seen McGregor in one of the games. I don't know if it was before the Derby game, it was against Hearts. I can't remember who it was. But he's like, look, we need to start quick, get to 60,000, get them on us. So maybe being negative in the stadium does really affect the players. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it too much, but I think if we get behind the crowd tonight, behind the players tonight, get an early goal. Listen, lads, let's be fair. We should be going for 3 points tonight, and I think if we get 3 points, it only help us in the league as well for confidence going forward.
Yeah, Alan, obviously your thoughts on what Ryan was saying there?
Aye, obviously we're rivals. They've got a past player that's playing for them tonight, and the Bratislava side, Vice, kind of looks like Gollum out of Lord of the Rings.
Aye, he does a wee bit, still chasing his ring.
Miami Vice.
But I don't think he plays as much as maybe he used to. I think he's maybe 33, I think he's approaching 34, I'm sure.
I think so.
So I think they are dangerous out wide, as Ryan touched upon, the boy Tigran, shall we call. JP will obviously be able to pronounce his surname. That's not one of myself and Ryan's best attributes, but the number 11.
Bargeshin.
Yes, and he's the most dangerous, as Ryan's probably says. It looks like that on statistics, as we say. He's in 12 competitive games, he's scored 8 goals and 2 assists, so 10 goal contributions within 12 games. We've also got Robert Mack, that I think kind of goes back in and out the team with Vladimir Weiss. They're kind of similar ages, and he's obviously had quite a decent career playing with teams like Fernandez Varos against us. So sometimes it's the unknown that can surprise us as well. So we need to go into this game with confidence, but with full respect to our opposition, because we obviously know that Brendan would have done his homework. The scouting team, the coaches will know a lot more than us how these teams set up, but it's still kind of not as well known as whether we're going to know kind of Dortmund, Atalanta, Aston Villa, etc. We're going to know how these teams play, because we watch these teams on a more regular basis. So I'm quietly confident, but we need to go into this game kind of with enough respect for the opposition, so that we get through this with 3 points. But I'm still quietly confident we will do.
Yeah, I think most of us are, to be fair. I get what you're saying. Celtic's mantra is the next game, but I know Brendan touched on in his presser that we've done a wee bit of due diligence on them before the Hearts game and stuff. Because you can't just get in blind and only start doing your work for Saturday, to now. But I think we all want us to get off to a great start. No more so than the players. The players will want to get off to a great start. They'll want to be the ones that go and continue this momentum that we've got and continue being able to play at a high level. And this will also test them as well. Because again, I keep touching on it even on the podcast. we're not tested at this level domestically. We just aren't, and that's no a dig to any other domestic club that we play against. Unfortunately, we do not have the level to test us at this level. And as Brendan says, every team that's in the Champions League all think they're a big team. We all think they're a big team. So it's going to be interesting. Looking forward to it. Now comes the juicy stuff. I'm going to ask you for your team lines. I'll start with you, Alan.
I think I'm going to be different for you guys. I'm going to go with the exact same team that lined up against Hearts. I think it'll be Joe Hart, Alistair Johnston.
Joe Hart.
Jesus! That's a mistake.
By the way, I would get a fright because poor Casper's kept 5 clean sheets in the league and he's getting dropped tonight. Wow.
Do you know how many team predictions we done last year that was always Joe Hart? Right?
I know, it's cemented.
We'll get that. We'll cut that one out. Sorry, we'll cut it out.
I'm leaving it in. I'm not cutting it.
I'll make you look silly, as always. Casper Schmeichel, Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, William Scales, Greg Taylor, Cal McGregor, Rayo Hatate, whereas I think you will go with Paolo Bernardo, Arne Engels, Dyson Maida, Nicholas Kuhn and Kyogo up top.
Okay.
And I'll go for a 3-0 victory.
Wow, great man. Well done. Brian?
I've just touched on what you said there, obviously, about getting tested, and that is true, we don't. But I think this is probably the first campaign where there's no excuses for us now. We've spent a lot of money, 2 big signings, we've broke our record. The manager seems to be very happy with the board in terms of backed them. We're in a good place mentally, we look that we're ready to come in and do well here. So I think if we do go and get beat tonight, I hope we don't, before anybody shoots down, or we don't qualify, or we do get really bad poor results.
So we're not going to know tonight.
No, but I'm just saying,
whether we're qualifying or not.
There's no excuses this campaign. The manager's been back, he's happy with his squad, so let's just go and prove to a lot of people, especially in Scotland, because we all know,
it is a top level,
because we all know that the media are going to be sitting just after the kick-off with the headlines ready, Celtic embarrassed, Celtic this.
Yeah, no.
It's all sitting there. It was mainly the game against Ross County in the league.
Yeah.
Celtic dropped points, then they need to delete it and put it back on again. So we all know they're all ready to try and get it. So, like Alan says there, if you go and get a good performance, you mentioned as well about kick-starting right away.
Yeah.
It kind of puts a wee bit here. I don't want to say get it up these, but listen here. We've started really well, do you know what I mean? So, team lines, I'm going to...
That was a long line-up.
I know, that was a right long line-up.
I'm going to go with same line-up as you, apart from if we're going to put the best team on the park, I think Hatate plays, right? I think it's the exact same team yours says. I think Hatate plays, on form, it's the best team we've got to know. Obviously, we don't know how good the boys on the bench are, Trusty and boy Valle. We don't know how good they are, so we can't put them in, right? Well, we can't say that anyway. But I think it'll be the same team. But I've got an inkling Bernardo's going to play, because I think the way he presses and I think he keeps the ball better than Hatate. And this team could be better than who we play in Scotland, take away them across the water, and they could punish you with getting the ball away. So I think Bernardo playing a part for that. I think it's the same team.
Aye, I can see your thoughts, Beefies, on how things are setting up. I'm going to say definitely I think Casper Schmeichel will play. I don't think it'll be Joe Hart, definitely no. I'll be really shocked if
Dimitri Karin, he's
Tony
doing his
Warner,
joggies.
Tony Warner, aye, Dimitri Karin in with his big trousers on. He's got big trousers to fill, by the way, leaving Joe Hart leaving anyway, that's for sure. But I do think it'll be Casper Schmeichel. I think Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Liam Scales and Greg Taylor. Midfield, for me, it'll be Callum McGregor, Arne Engels, and I do think Paolo Bernardo is going to start, because he done the media as well. So that's normally a wee... When you see that happening and you see any of the players doing the media right before a big game like this, it usually means they're involved, or they're somewhere involved. So I do think it'll be Paolo Bernardo, and I think it'll be Nicholas Kuhn, Dyson Maida, and Kyogo.
Do you know how the bench, obviously...
You getting a score prediction? No?
Aye, I'm going to go 3-1.
3 months. You giving him a go?
I still think we've got a vulnerability.
Sorry, Casper.
I still think we've got a vulnerability about us, and I hope I'm wrong. By the way, I'm trying to be realistic, and I think they will get a chance or two, because the way we play, we do make us vulnerable because of how we are. And
their best player plays primarily down the right hand wing, and you've seen in the past, no matter how well Greg Taylor and Liam Scales have done, teams primarily target that left hand side. So if it's a combination of their best, most productive player on the right hand side against their left hand side, but I still think we'll keep the clean sheet.
I don't know about you.
So they are.
I don't know about you, Steve. I know we're trying to wrap up soon, but you should let me on this what you feel. Obviously, with Ange right with Spurs, and he done it with us. Ange was, in terms of defensively, we did ship a lot of goals, especially in Europe, right? The way we wanted to play, but we all understood that. He's doing it the same with Spurs, set pieces, free kicks. I think what's going to be key for us is the set pieces. We need to defend them well. I think if you don't give silly fouls, defend. I think that's probably the only really vulnerability I think we've got is the set pieces. I think if you stay solid at that, then I think we'll be absolutely fine. Yeah.
Listen, I think we've been defensively sound, but I think what helps with that, Ryan, is the fact that we're set up differently this season. Our counter press is. This is what I'm saying as well. See if you can win the ball back in the opposing half and do it that many times.
There's a big change.
There's only obvious you're going to create more chances.
You still probably concur in that. There's a massive change for the press last season to this.
Oh no, it's night and day. But even the guys that have just come in, like McCown, Arnie Engels, when they're asked to do it, they're away doing it.
Yep.
That's what Arnie Engels looks as if he's got in abundance. He can do the dirty side of the game as well. So no, I'm going to say 3-0, same as you are, and I've had that in my head even when I was over in Santa Ponsa at the weekend. I thought we would win 3-0. Probably by the time this goes out and obviously the game happens, Celtic will get beat or something, and we'll all be sitting here going, where did I get that thought process? But listen, you've got to be confident because we're at Parkhead as well.
I do think the boy Engels, this is again
special.
We touched on him, right, and we mentioned it. We've not had your thoughts on him yet, on the podcast. It does it now. We've all played football, and you know football, right? Most of them are experts, but we know football. When guys do the simple things right, that's when you know he's a good player now. Some guys do amazing things, but the simple things like a 5-yard pass and 10-yard passes, it's out the park. We've seen it with Raymer across the water, Tavernier hitting the ball at the park and all that, right? This boy does, it's his positions he takes up, his course control, early days, but he looks a real deal.
It's easy. I can watch a guy for 10 minutes, you know he's either going to cut it or no, because you know he's a football player. And what he's good at, what he's very good, his vision's unbelievable. He knows where to be, how to receive a pass, where he should be next. But what I like about him is he looks as if he's settled right away. It's no taking him long. And I've always said it to you boys on the podcast, quality does not take long to settle. It comes in and goes into your conveyor belt the way you're working, and it just hits the ground running. And that's why you pay the money that you pay. And Lawrence Shankland and Halkett can shout all the daft things they want. That was silly, because then he sinks a penalty and then you get egg in your chin. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, but he's young in age to us, but he's at a different level of quality.
He's played first team football in a higher division, do you know what I mean?
Listen, my dad was at the game on Saturday and my dad says he's up there already with Matt O'Reilly. There you go, so that's a big compliment. That's a big compliment to have right away. And I watched him on the TV and he was a standout.
He did mention that. I don't know if you've seen all it, obviously we were away on holiday, but you did mention that we were looking for a replacement. Have we just got it already?
And we've got that depth now within the squad that we're going to have either kind of Paulo Bernardo or Ray Hatate on the bench, along with Luke McCowan as well. So it looks as if we've increased the kind of the quality and the depth that we've got. Only time will tell. Will Arnie Engels kind of live up to how well that Matt O'Reilly's played for us in the last couple of years? But he's made nights like tonight, really good start.
Nights like tonight are when these guys come to the. This is where these guys come to the floor.
That's what you vote for.
100%.
I'm being honest. I'll stick my neck on the line. I don't think he'll be here for more than 2 years.
It's one of the ones, isn't it, Van Dijk? You just enjoy yourself while you're here.
It's only signed a 4-year deal.
Honestly,
if we pay 11 million for somebody, it should be a 5 or 6 year deal.
Would it surprise you though, if we get a good season out of this season, Celtic game, no,
it wouldn't surprise me because they know that they're going to get the money back. And I know we're going to wrap up, but you spoke about it, you spoke when I spoke about it. I've been on it for a long time. I want us to try and do this, change the strategy of buying the players like that, because if you spend that money, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be good, and you're going to get the success with winning trophies and the money back.
And then the development in the Champions League and playing at that level as well. Well, there you go. Right. This is what I mean on and off the pitch.
We've got to talk about it Friday. Come on.
But,
Alan just wants a pint.
but thanks very much to you guys for tuning in. If you are new to the content, please like and subscribe. It's totally free to do so. If you're going to the game tonight, please be safe, enjoy. Let's hope we get a good result. Lads,
thanks again.
Cheers for the chat again.
Thanks again to
the Morven. Yep, for allowing us in to talk rubbish for a wee while. And it's, as I say, it's been good to get a catch up with you guys again.
And there'll be some information going across in social media later today, hopefully.
Stay tuned. Later on today, there'll be some good news coming across all methods, as Alan says, of our social media channels. But above all else, take care. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
We'll see you all again. Bye bye.